Welcome back to the Super Not Funny Show reviews. And today I'm going to be reviewing Reservation Dogs Season 3, Episode 4. It's entitled Friday. It's come to you from FX on Hulu. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there, hit like on this video. Y'all, this episode Friday, I suppose it could be called a filler episode. I prefer to call it a transition episode from the first three episodes, which were kind of heavy and really more about Bear's journey, back to the Rez, and through the final episodes of this season. But you know what? At the end of it, all I can really say is it reinforced to me just how much I love seeing these kids, just kind of living their lives and like growing up and kind of doing their thing. It's a slice of life episode. It's about the consequences, I suppose you could say, of the Rez Dogs going to California. So they have to go up to the IHS and do some chores, just kind of to, I guess, pay for their for their crimes, if you will. And so it splits the gang up, into their little things. Cheese and Willie Jack have to go outside and scrub penis art, graffiti off of the side of the building. Jackie, which for whatever reason, I don't know why Jackie, she just sort of got involved. I guess because her aunt is just like, you're just a shit ass, so you're gonna have to just we're gonna get you anyway. Just throw you all in there. But she and Bear have to sweep and mop the floors, and that leaves Elora, to kind of go, do the trash bags. But also, it really is more of an opportunity, I suppose, for Willie Jack's her dad, who I guess runs the place, which I didn't realize that, but apparently he runs the place. To sort of, I guess he's looking about grooming a successor to run the IHS up there. And there's some surprisingly thoughtful moments in this show. Again, this show is generally comedic, and this is this is an episode with plenty of funny things in it, but it's also quite thoughtful and introspective, and it's nice to see see Elora kind of verbalize, kind of say out loud to someone else, like, hey, I got plans. This whole going to California thing, it sort of galvanized me to get moving on something in my life. And she's thinking about going to college. I think probably her Aunt Teeny probably is, part of that too. But she seems like she has made a decision about her life and how she's going to go forward that maybe she hasn't even really shared with everyone else, but she shares with, Willie Jack's father. And I love that whenever she mentions this, she mentions it to Bev and, to him, and they're just like, oh, really? Well, cool. Good. Like, it's not like a, hey, you got to go do it. It's also not a, you can't go do it. It's not a, you have to stay on the res. It's not a, you have to go, it's none of that stuff. It's, oh, you're starting to, figure out where you want to go, and cool. We're with you. I love it. And I loved also Bev in this. There's a good, Bev, she's I think a really great character that we saw we saw more of her last season, and she's an authority figure, but she's such a fun and funny character. Every time she interacts with them, she's kind of snarky, but not mean or anything like that. Really good-hearted. And I loved that there was just like a flirtatious, more than flirtatious thing going on between her and Big. And Big, he's my favorite non Rez Dog character in the whole show. And I love seeing him, the two of them flirt and everything like that, and the way Elora sort of reacted to it. It was fun. Like, it's a fun thing. I love those two characters. I love that for them, that they're sort of, gonna hook up or something like that. But why not? That's, good people, right? Also, I'd like that Bev stirring the pot with Rita, and pointing out that that Jackie and Bear were sort of having good interaction. They can't hear anything that's going on, but they're like, oh no, we're gonna they're going to get together and have kids and everything, just because they've been on the Reds, and I suppose that's just the way that they've seen it happen before, that they're going to get together. And possibly, I think before people have thought that maybe Elora and Bear, but no, Elora and Bear really are brother sister. They're not, there was never really anything between them as far as that goes, but Jackie and Bear, it could be a thing. I did like that there does seem to be a kernel of truth to that. And I've liked Jackie a lot since last season when she was there for Elora after her grandmother passed. And I've always thought that, yeah, they're going to redeem her. She's not the bad guy. They're going to, and she has, she was there for Cheese last season. I've been in the bag for her anyway. And Bear is my dog, and he's really been going through some things. He's transitioning from a boy to a man. And he's had an experience with Dear Lady. He's sort of, exercises demons about his dad. And I love the fact that he's moving on with his life. This really has kind of changed him. And now he's open to the possibility that someone who had him jumped, a couple seasons ago, now they can be friendly, and maybe even more than that. That's where I love it. I like seeing that sort of transition. And for the only other person that had a really big thing, like Cheese, he got some new glasses and everything like that. Cheese is Cheese. This wasn't a big step forward for him, really, not in this episode, but it was for Willie Jack, who is my favorite character on the entire show. And her being very observant, like that's something. Paulina Alexis plays Willie Jack in a very subtle way, and I'm not, I don't know her resume and how much experience she has. But there's kind of I don't even want to call it an innocence. It's sort of a wonder at the world. She's always looking up at the sky, or, just sort of looking around. And she's very observant and kind of not afraid to take a step outside of her comfort zone, or to just make the connection that needs to be made. In this case, old Fixico, who's we've seen in previous seasons, that he sits in a table in front of everything. He's the medicine man, that people come to for, medicine for whatever they need. And, we see him sell some medicine to Mosen and Mako. And that's cool and everything. But she notices something about him, that he's a little more far away. He's a little more introspective. He's looking at the sky. Even Big doesn't even notice it, but she notices something about him, and she makes that connection. Why? And he doesn't think he's going to be around much longer, and all of his knowledge about medicine goes away, and she immediately takes that step, that next step of connection, to say, hey, I'll learn, I'll be your apprentice. I'll be the person that carries on. And that's such a huge thing. Like, I don't think, maybe I don't understand as much, but I feel like that's a huge step, to not lose that knowledge and that wisdom and experience, and to be the next, because someone has to be the one to carry that on, or that tradition and that understanding is lost forever. And somehow Willie Jack, she is the spirit guide, I suppose you could say, for this show. We saw in the previous season that she has connection to her elders, to her ancestors, and this is just another connection that really ties her to the spirits of her ancestors. And like, I just love it. I think that is just beautiful. The whole time I was like, please, please, please ask him to learn from it. And she did. And that's just speaks to her kind of her emotional clarity and understanding, that she understands what the importance of Fixico, and that he and his legacy not just disappear when he passes on. Loved it. So just overall, man, I for a filler episode or what have you, it actually was really, really great. Just because it advanced some storylines, but also the character development within there is just so strong, and just reminds me of why I love this show, why I love these characters, why I just root for them and just want everything, right and good to happen for them and for the people that are around them. It really is the sort of episode that reinforces, to me, why this is one of the best shows on TV, period. So anyway, those are my thoughts on this episode. What did you guys think? And what did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comments section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. All that good stuff helps with the channel so that more people join and more people see these videos. All right, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We're going to talk about the 5th episode of Reservation Dogs. Until then, I've been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.